You are looking at a kitchen cabinet that hasn't seen the inside of a proper cleaning in 5 years. Look at that. That is not just dirt. That is a geological layer of cooking grease, airborne dust, and time. Most people look at this and think they need a heavy-duty chemical degreaser, a steel wool pad, and about 3 hours of their Saturday to fix it. They are wrong. If you use harsh chemicals on wood cabinets, you strip the finish. If you scrub too hard, you ruin the grain. And if you use water alone, you just spread the grease around and make a bigger mess. Today, I'm going to show you how I clean these cabinets using one ingredient that costs less than $2. I did not scrub. I did not sweat. I did not damage the wood. And the result was not just clean, it was restored. This is not a magic trick. This is chemistry. And more importantly, this is the method my grandfather used when he managed maintenance for apartment complexes back in the 70s. He didn't have access to the fancy spray bottles we see on TV today. He had to use what worked, what was cheap, and what didn't destroy the surfaces he was paid to protect. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly why your current cleaning routine is failing your wood cabinets, and you will have a simple, repeatable process that takes 10 minutes, not 3 hours. Let's get to work. Let's talk about the problem, and I don't mean the visible grime. You can see the grime. The real problem is what happens when you try to clean it the wrong way. I walk into homes all the time. I see the same pattern. Someone notices their upper cabinets near the stove are sticky. The lower cabinets near the trash or the sink are dull and spotted. So what do? They grab the all-purpose cleaner under the sink. Maybe it's a lemon-scented spray. Maybe it's a blue liquid that promises to cut through grease. They spray it on a paper towel or a rag and they wipe. At first, it looks like it's working. The surface gets wet, the shine comes back for a second, but then it dries and you notice something. It's still sticky. Or worse, it's streaky. So you spray again, you scrub harder. Now you're using an abrasive sponge. You're putting elbow grease into it. You're frustrated. You're sweating. And when you step back, the cabinet looks worse than before. It's hazy. The wood looks dry. In some cases, the finish has started to peel or cloud up. Why does this happen? It happens because most commercial all-purpose cleaners are designed for non-porous surfaces like laminate, plastic, or sealed tile. They are not designed for wood, especially older wood with a varnish or oil finish. When you spray a water-based cleaner onto greasy wood, two things happen. First, the water beads up on top of the grease because oil and water don't mix. You aren't penetrating the grime, you are sliding over it. Second, if the cleaner has alcohol or ammonia in it, common ingredients in glass and multi-surface cleaners, it attacks the protective finish of the wood. It strips away the oils that keep the wood looking rich and healthy. So now you have a double problem. You still have the grease embedded in the texture of the wood grain, and now you have a damaged finish that attracts even more dirt because it's rough and porous. It's a cycle. You clean, you damage, it gets dirtier faster. You clean harder, you damage it more. I see this specifically with kitchens built in the 80s and 90s, those oak cabinets with the honey-colored stain. They are notorious for this. The finish on those cabinets was often a lacquer or a polyurethane that over 30 years has become brittle. It has micro cracks. Grease gets into those cracks, dust sticks to the grease, and suddenly you have a black, gummy residue that feels like tar. If you try to scrape that off, you gouge the wood. If you try to dissolve it with strong solvents like acetone or paint thinner, you melt the finish entirely. I once watched a homeowner try to use oven cleaner on her wooden cabinets because she heard it cuts grease. She stripped the color right off the door. It looked like someone had taken sandpaper to it. That is not cleaning. That is destruction. The problem isn't that the dirt is impossible to remove. The problem is that the method is too aggressive for the surface or too weak for the grime. We need something that sits in the middle. We need something that can break down the molecular bond of the grease without attacking the wood fiber or the protective coating. We need something that lifts the dirt rather than scrubbing it. And we need to address the location. Upper cabinets near the stove are different from lower cabinets. The uppers deal with heat and vaporized oil. Every time you fry bacon or sauté onions, tiny particles of oil float up into the air. They land on the bottom of the upper cabinets and the front faces. Over time, this creates a polymerized layer. That's a fancy word for saying the oil has hardened into a plastic-like substance. It's tough, it's resistant to water, but it is not resistant to everything. Lower cabinets deal with splashes, handprints, and general household dust. This type of dirt is easier to remove, but if you've been using the wrong cleaner for years, you've likely built up a layer of soap scum from the cleaner itself. Money cleaners leave a residue if not rinsed properly. On wood, you can't really rinse with a hose, so that residue stays there trapping more dirt. So the problem is clear. We have hardened, polymerized grease on the uppers and soft, sticky grime mixed with soap residue on the lowers. Standard cleaners fail because either they slide off the hard grease or damage the wood while trying to get to it. We need a new approach. We need to understand what we are actually fighting. To solve this, we have to look at the reason why grease sticks so hard to wood. It's not just adhesion, it's absorption and oxidation. Wood is a natural material. Even when it's sealed, it has a texture. Under a microscope, wood grain looks like a series of valleys and ridges. When airborne grease lands on it, it settles into those valleys. Over time, oxygen in the air reacts with the fats in the grease. This is called oxidation. Think of it like butter left out on the counter. It goes rancid, it changes texture, it becomes harder and stickier. In your kitchen, this process happens slowly over months and years. The grease turns into a varnish-like substance that bonds with the dust particles floating in your home. This is why water doesn't work. Water molecules are polar. Grease molecules are non-polar. They repel each other. When you wipe with a wet cloth, the water sits on top of the oxidized grease layer. You might remove the loose dust on the very surface, but the bonded layer remains. That's why it still feels sticky after you wipe it. You haven't removed the source, you've just polished the top of the grime. Now let's talk about why harsh chemicals fail. Solvents like alcohol or acetone work by dissolving oils. They break the chemical bonds, but they are indiscriminate. They don't know the difference between the cooking grease on the surface and the linseed oil or tung oil in the wood finish. They attack both. That's why your cabinets look dull and white after using strong degreasers. You've stripped the protective layer. Once that layer is gone, the raw wood is exposed. Raw wood absorbs moisture and dirt like a sponge. Now your cleaning problem is 10 times worse because every time you cook, the new grease soaks directly into the wood fiber. So, we need something that is alkaline enough to saponify the fats. That means turning them into soap so they can be wiped away, but gentle enough not to eat through the wood finish. We need something that emulsifies the grease. Emulsification is the process of breaking large globules of oil into tiny droplets that can be suspended in water and wiped away. Most people think of dish soap for this, and dish soap is good. It's designed to cut grease on plates. But dish soap is often too thick and leaves a film if you don't rinse it thoroughly. On a vertical surface like a cabinet door, rinsing is difficult. You can't just run it under the tap. If you leave soap residue, it attracts more dust. It becomes a magnet for grime. So while dish soap works in a pinch, it's not the best long-term solution for deep cleaning wood cabinets without risking streaks or buildup. We need something that penetrates the oxidized layer, breaks the bond, and lifts the dirt without leaving a trace. We need something that has been used for centuries because it works, not because a marketing team invented it last year. This brings us to the science of emulsifiers and mild abrasives. We need a dual-action approach, one part to break down the chemical bond of the grease, and one part to provide a tiny bit of mechanical action without scratching. But we can't use steel wool. We can't use scouring pads. We need something softer than the wood finish, but harder than the grease. The key is pH balance. Grease is acidic in nature as it breaks down. To neutralize it, we need a base, but not a caustic base like lye, which would burn the wood. We need a mild base, something that raises the pH just enough to trigger saponification, the process where fat turns into soap without damaging the substrate. When you understand this, you stop looking for magic cleaners. You start looking for chemistry. You realize that the most effective tools are often the simplest ones. The janitors of the past knew this. They didn't have endless aisles of specialized products. They had a few core ingredients that could handle 90% of cleaning tasks if used correctly. They understood that cleaning is not about force, it's about reaction time and the right chemical match. If you rush the process, you fail. If you use the wrong chemical, you fail. But if you give the right ingredient time to work, the grease literally lifts off the surface. You don't scrub, you wipe. There is a huge difference. Scrubbing implies friction and effort. Wiping implies removal. We want removal.
Here is the solution. The ingredient I'm talking about is washing soda, not baking soda, washing soda. Let me make that distinction clear because people confuse them all the time. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. It's mild. It's great for deodorizing and light cleaning, but it is not strong enough to cut through years of polymerized kitchen grease. Washing soda is sodium carbonate. It is much more alkaline. It has a pH of around 11, whereas baking soda is around 8. That difference is critical. Washing soda is powerful enough to break down heavy grease and grime, but it is still safe for most sealed wood surfaces if used correctly and rinsed. You can find washing soda in the laundry aisle of most grocery stores. It usually comes in a yellow box. It costs about $2. That's it. That is the entire budget for this project. But we are not just going to use washing soda alone. We are going to create a paste. Why a paste? Because a liquid runs off vertical surfaces. A paste stays where you put it. It allows the chemical to dwell on the grease, breaking it down over time. This is the secret: dwell time. Most people spray and wipe immediately. That gives the cleaner zero time to work. By using a paste, we let the chemistry do the heavy lifting. Here is the recipe. Take 1 cup of washing soda. Add just enough warm water to turn it into a thick paste. It should have the consistency of toothpaste or frosting, not too runny, not too dry. Mix it well. Now, here is the tool you need: a soft bristled brush. An old toothbrush works perfectly for corners and details. For the flat surfaces, use a soft nylon brush or even a clean, soft sponge. Do not use anything abrasive. Do not use steel wool. Do not use the green side of a scouring pad.
Step 1. Preparation. Remove everything from the cabinets. Take the doors off if you can. If you can't take the doors off, that's fine, but make sure you can reach the hinges and the edges. Lay down a drop cloth or old towels on the floor and counter to catch any drips. Ventilate the room. Open a window. Washing soda is safe, but it can be dusty, and you don't want to breathe in the powder. Step 2. Application. Take your paste and apply it to the greasy areas. Focus on the worst spots first. Usually this is the area directly above and below the stove handles and the bottom edges of the upper cabinets. Use the brush to work the paste into the grain. Don't scrub hard. Just gently agitate it to ensure it gets into the cracks. The goal is coverage, not friction. Step 3. The wait. This is the hardest part for people. You have to wait. Let the paste sit for 15 to 20 minutes. During this time, the washing soda is breaking down the oxidized grease. It is turning that hard, sticky varnish into a soft, soapy sludge. You will see the paste change color. It will turn brown or gray as it pulls the dirt out of the wood. This is visual proof that it is working. If you wipe it off too soon, you leave the job half done. Give it time. Step 4. Removal. After 20 minutes, take a clean, damp microfiber cloth. Wipe away the paste. You will be shocked at how easily it comes off. The grease should lift away with the paste. You shouldn't have to scrub. If there are stubborn spots, reapply a little more paste and wait another 5 minutes. But for 90% of the surface, 1 application is enough. Step 5. The rinse. This is crucial. Washing soda leaves a residue if not rinsed. Take a fresh bucket of clean, warm water, dip a clean cloth in it, wring it out well, and wipe down the cabinets. You may need to do this twice to ensure all the washing soda has gone. If you leave it, it can leave a white haze as it dries, so rinse thoroughly. Step 6. Dry. Use a dry microfiber cloth to buff the wood dry. This prevents water spots and helps restore the shine. Now let's talk about the results. When I did this on the cabinets in the intro, the difference was night and day. The sticky feeling was gone. The wood grain popped. The color looked richer because we removed the gray, dusty layer of grime that was obscuring the finish. And I didn't scrub. I let the paste do the work. But what if you have unsealed wood or waxed wood? Testing is important. Before you do the whole kitchen, pick a small, inconspicuous spot, maybe the inside of a door or the back of a panel. Apply the paste, wait, and wipe. Check for any discoloration or damage. If the finish looks cloudy or starts to lift, stop. Washing soda is safe for most polyurethane and lacquer finishes, but if your cabinets are very old or have an oil finish that hasn't been maintained, it might be too strong. In that case, dilute the paste with more water or switch to a milder solution like diluted dish soap. But for standard sealed wood cabinets, washing soda is the gold standard. Let's address a common question. What about the smell? Washing soda has no scent. It doesn't smell like lemons or pine. Some people miss that clean smell, but here's the truth. That smell is usually artificial fragrance. It doesn't clean anything, it just masks odors. Your cabinets will smell like nothing, and that is what clean smells like. If you want a scent, you can add a few drops of essential oil to your rinse water. Lemon or orange oil works well and adds a bit of extra degreasing power, but it's optional. The cleaning power comes from the washing soda, not the smell. Another tip, for the hardware, the knobs and handles, you can soak them. If you can remove the knobs, drop them in a bowl of hot water with a tablespoon of washing soda. Let them soak for 30 minutes. The grime and the crevices will loosen up, and you can scrub them clean with an old toothbrush. They will look brand new. Metal hardware often gets overlooked, but dirty knobs make the whole cabinet look dirty. Clean hardware elevates the entire look. What about the inside of the cabinets? Don't forget them. Spills happen inside too. Flour, sugar, oil leaks. Use the same paste method, but be careful with unfinished wood interiors. If the inside is raw wood, use a weaker solution, half washing soda, half water, or just use a vinegar water mix for light cleaning. But if it's sealed, the paste works great. This method saves money. A bottle of specialty wood cleaner can cost $15 to $20. A box of washing soda costs $2 and lasts for months. You can use it for laundry, for cleaning drains, for scrubbing patios. It is a versatile tool. And it saves time. Instead of spending 3 hours scrubbing, you spend 20 minutes applying and waiting, and 10 minutes wiping. Total active work time, 30 minutes. It also saves your health. You aren't breathing in volatile organic compounds from aerosol sprays. You aren't getting chemicals on your skin. Washing soda is irritant if you get it in your eyes, so wear glasses if you're sensitive, but it's far safer than the industrial degreasers sold in big blue bottles. I've used this method on hundreds of kitchens, from rental properties to family homes. It never fails if you follow the steps. The key is patience. Let the chemistry work. Don't fight the dirt. Dissolve it. We've covered the problem, the science behind why standard cleaners fail, and the exact solution using washing soda. Now you have a method that is cheap, effective, and safe for your wood cabinets. You don't need to replace your cabinets because they look old. You just need to clean them properly. But this is just one piece of the puzzle. Cleaning is a system. If you clean your cabinets but ignore your stove hood filters, the grease will just come back. If you clean your counters but leave your sink grimy, the whole kitchen feels dirty. I want to help you build a complete cleaning routine that keeps your home running smoothly without taking over your life. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow, and it ensures you don't miss the next tip. I upload new videos every week, breaking down practical cleaning methods that actually work. No fluff, no fake promises, just real advice from a third-generation janitor. I want to hear from you. What is the biggest cleaning problem in your kitchen right now? Is it the oven, the fridge, the grout in your tile? Leave a comment below. Tell me what's driving you crazy. I read every comment, and I often base my next videos on what you guys are struggling with. If enough of you mention ovens, I'll do a deep dive on how to clean an oven without toxic fumes. If you mention grout, I'll show you how to whiten it without bleach. Your input shapes this channel. Also, if you want to see how I tackle another tough job, check out this video right here on screen. It's about cleaning gas stoves using the same philosophy. Simple ingredients, real results. It pairs perfectly with today's video because once your cabinets are clean, you'll want your stove to match. Thanks for watching. Keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll see you in the next one.